Astroworld.
Oh,
So
today been a tough day for your boy.
So real quick summary. So Travis Scott had a concert at Houston, Texas, where pretty much they had sold out, 50,000 people in attendance. And from pretty much when it started to like, I guess pretty much when it ended was pure chaos. So we have a footage of, yeah, let's do this clip first, Ian. Pretty much people rushing the security booth, the gate, and some people getting trampled on. So this, go for it. A little quick pause. We're going to, warning guys. Some might find some of this footage we're going to show graphic and controversial and just probably whatever. So just warning, feel some type of way about some of the stuff going on. Here's your warning.
That girl will be frozen on and run like a raptor.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Fucking arms just...
Yo, what the fuck?
Ian, if you can't zoom in on that.
God damn. She finna
If you can't, don't worry about it. Yo, that is funny.
Bro, I'm just thinking of that scene where they're like, we found them systematically testing defenses for weaknesses.
Oh my god. And she pops up. Yo, that's. Wait, hold on.
Yo, this is so
Hold on. That's a lizard person. That is not a real human being. There's a lizard people at
it's
this.
a very,
Travis
it's
Scott.
super pixelated, so
Nah.
it might be that particular pixel warping.
Look like a donkey with a wig on. Look.
Oh my gosh. Play, go
It
play.
really like Winnie the
Pause it
Pooh
again.
head. No, look at she really run like that.
All right, let's just watch it, play that.
Oh yeah, I forgot this is a serious thing.
I know.
You can tell the real athletes. That should be goddamn.
Like, fucking
E1
spaghetti.
sponsors waiting on the other side. I like how you made it over there. Oh yeah, keep it going.
Yeah, I was about to say yeah, too.
I mean, nobody died here.
We're not here, but like. So I guess pause. So obviously we don't have to watch the whole thing. Y'all see, and people got trampled. But the reason why is because what was it? An 8-year-old, 9-year-old?
9-year-old got trampled in.
That's why it's like. Oh.
Wait, he got trampled here?
Not here specifically, but another incident.
God forbid. No. I mean, well, he did get trampled, so I can't.
But yeah, he did get trampled.
Forbid
Not in this particular incident from this footage, but in another separate incident, there was a trample.
During the night thing, in one of the night shows, the show that everybody was passing out.
Yeah, so apparently, I guess there was some moshing. I don't think we have that particular footage, but go to the next clip, Ian. Apparently, some people, were passing out. There was a clip I saw, I wish I saved it, of a guy, like, underneath a pile of people. And they just couldn't get up. Obviously, a pile of people, like, it starts getting heavier and heavier, and you just couldn't get up to the point where you hear a girl screaming, get up or get off me or something like that. Like, you just hear people screaming in the back as it's getting bigger. And, yeah, shit was going on. We have a clip here, another warning. Person like passed out, and I think they're trying to like, I don't know the best way to describe this, but like crowd surf the guy.
Died.
What'd you say?
I think this guy died.
Man, if this is the guy that died, like here's your guys' warning, letting y'all know now.
Holding him and then finding out.
Go for
Well,
it,
he
Ian.
passed out and Travis stopped singing and told.
Well, no, in this clip he's still singing. I don't know if he stopped singing later on, but in this particular clip,
before this, he stopped singing and he tells the security and like people paramedics to get into that area to get that guy out.
They have released footage of that too.
okay.
And then like as they're moving him, he starts ramping up the song again, but he's like watching it like in the
Okay,
background like,
that's-
you
yeah,
see him like
okay.
auto tuning a little bit while he's just like humming a note for a little while. He's pretty much just watching the situation though.
That's right. Yeah, you see. All right, that's I guess yeah. So that's that one.
You know what's crazy though? Ramping up until like the last couple days, like when it first came out, they were already. The way they were reporting the stories, they weren't blaming him.
We don't need to show this one, Ian.
But it was
honestly,
already
we get the point, I guess. There's another footage of a guy getting carried off by emergency. He's clearly passed out on the thing. This is actually share your point, and then we'll get to Travis Scott's response.
Up until even like until they just blatantly started blaming him, the way it was reported was really you could tell that was the angle that they were going to end up with. It was weird. I've never watched a breaking story happen, and then as it develops over the next couple of days, I could see that they had already put a narrative in the initial breaking story, and they kind of were just setting it up for like they were always gonna like how this has been shown to us or for us to be absorbed. A lot of blame has been put on
Has been
Travis Scott.
painted.
Has been painted. Thank you. A lot of blame has been put on Travis Scott, and it was kind of
So far, what
clear.
I've seen, it's been
But it was kind of clear even from the get go that somehow like
because people were saying
just
trying to
felt
associate
it.
some satanic, demonic stuff to this. Here, real
That's the
quick, I
weird
can pull up the other clip, if that's that real quick, and then we'll get to Travis Scott's
People
response.
fucking
Go on, Doc.
showing like portals and stuff during his like live set because of the backgrounds that he had while he was singing, and then be like, look, and then this shirt has 6 people and 6 people plus 2 because there's 2 of these posts in the
Yeah,
room.
they're trying to say his poster, also the
yeah,
advertisement
and I'm
for the
just like,
event. They're
what
trying
the
to say some
fuck?
things about that.
You
And
look
then
at the
some
entrance, they
decoration
walk
at
through
the
a
place.
skull.
Yeah, there's some decoration at the place where he had his face, big mouth open. People can walk in it like a house or something like that.
There's a fucking
Okay.
dinosaur lady who's a
Any-
demon running through the crowd,
anyway,
and we saw
whatever.
her.
So let's real quick watch this clip of what this guy said.
It just felt like we was like literally like in fucking hell, bro. Like it felt like we was in a concert in hell. You couldn't breathe, you couldn't see. Like just imagine all the people they gonna find tonight who was in that crowd, who nobody could see, who nobody could hear, who passed out, and everybody was just trampling on top of them the whole fucking concert. Like I'm thinking it's probably gonna be like at least 100 people who dead tonight. Like I kid you not. Like in the VIP section, it was
So
so
far,
many
only 8
bodies
reported
laid
dead.
out. People was getting pulled out who was fainted, and the people was the medics were trying to give them CPR, and they was flipping them over, and like they was literally turning them black and blue. Like I never seen death in my fucking life, bro. Just by me alone, it was probably like 10 fucking people laid out dead. And like once the medics tried to help them, they wasn't responding. They moved to the next person. It was nothing they could do. Like this shit really fucked me up and like really spooked me tonight. Like that was like some demonic shit. Like, and what was so crazy, like people were screaming help, trying to tell Travis Scott. They was like help. The whole crowd was just going like help, help, help. And he just kept going, bro. It was like that shit was scary, bro. It was so demonic, bro. And mind you, y'all see the type of music I make.
So yeah,
y'all see
so
everything.
pretty
Like
much
you
yeah,
know,
the
like
point,
I've been so hip.
There are some articles coming out. I think the Guardian had one about it. Demonic stuff, and agree, disagree. Like, do you think that's a valid point or not? Blah blah blah. I don't know. I think that's a stretch. I just think people weren't being responsible with the decisions they were making at that event because we all know
I think it's the vibe, man. I mean, to take it back to fucking to nerdy shit, I think of Magic and like the Rakdos Guild. They're all about partying and like people die during their parties because they're just super lit. And I think that's just the kind of
And you did say, John, his music's
vibe.
rage music.
I'm about to say,
Yeah,
Travis
it's
Scott's
just-
music's always been about rage, moshing, mosh pits.
yeah,
he only
it's the
moshes with
vibe and the
his-
culture, and eventually I think it was bottled up
You can get the
and
Travis Scott's
put in a-
response in.
in a bad situation, and all this tragedy just fucking happened, man.
But the people didn't even die in a mosh pit.
And also, apparently, I heard a report. I should have kept it. But apparently, there were some people going around like stabbing people with needles.
Yeah, there was reports that somebody was walking around stabbing people with needles or something. That's what caused the stampede that led to unfortunate 9-year-old's death. Or I think Ian said 8 or 9-year-old's death. I find it hard to blame Travis Scott. One, I'll say this. Astroworld, what Astroworld is, it's literally a festival put on by Travis Scott's people or Travis Scott himself or whatever. And they host other artists. It's like a Coachella, but for Texas. Hosted by Travis Scott. And Travis Scott's whole aesthetic has always been like this. Astroworld is like Travis Scott's world, and there's like roller coasters and da-da-da-da. And it's always been like this bigger than life branding, marketing type thing, right? So like that entrance has always been that entrance. Like you've always entered through Travis Scott's mouth. Like his music's always been like that. I could get the association to demonic when you hear groans, like auto-tuned groans, auto-tuned like his humming. I can get those associations with 808s being demonic and all that stuff. But first off, I do have a question. I'm curious if any of the people that died knew each other, and if they all died in like an area like that was close in proximity to each other. Because I'm curious whether, God forbid, I hope not, that they were on any type of specific drug. Maybe they all took the same
Some
drug.
kind of common
Common
link.
Well,
link.
it's 8 people that died and like 100 something other people that were taken to the hospital. So I doubt the 100 actually know each other.
No. I doubt that too. But the 8 people that I'm talking about, people like, I guess it's an assumption.
Damn, was it
but
100
it
people
seems,
injured?
yeah. But
I
it's,
guess that
makes
remember we
sense
from
saw
Stampede,
it on
yeah.
But it seems
They
like
never said
the
a specific
8
number, they just
people
said
that they
many
saying
injured.
died. I don't know why I got that vibe. I felt like the 8 people that died before the Stampede. Is that weird to say? Because like all the
I don't
videos
think
I've
so.
seen is like stop the show, da 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 da, this and that. It doesn't insinuate that there was a stampede, because the stampede would have been the end of the show. So
Yeah,
it's,
no, I think those people died throughout the show because from what I've seen, like on people's social media, is that they were saying that they were pretty much packed like sardines. Like if you didn't jump with the group that you were around, you stayed down, and then the other people came down. You had to jump in unison with them, and like they were saying, there were times where like you just wouldn't touch the floor because you were so compact and everyone was still up together. Like they was so tight, and so
I believe
those
that.
people who were really compact and probably couldn't were rolling or something like that, or hadn't had enough water because they didn't want to leave to go to the back to lose their spot and stuff like that.
Pass
They
out.
probably passed out, and then if you pass out,
You get jumped on.
you're not fucking standing up anymore. All of a sudden, you slip to the bottom, and people are hopping up and down around you. You get crushed, and so those people just more than likely died that way.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I just don't, and I mean, obviously there's footage of him saying, and I'm not trying to
Yeah, let's
absolve
get
him
to
of
the
anything.
response real quick. Go ahead and play the response.
I just want to send out prayers to the ones that was lost last night. We're actually working right now to identify the families so we can help assist them through this tough time. You know, my fans really mean the world to me, and I always just really want to leave them with a positive experience. And anytime I can make out, anything that's going on, I stop the show and, help them get the help they need, I could just never imagine the severity of the situation. We've been working closely with everyone to just try to get to the bottom of this. The City of Houston, HPD, Fire Department, everyone to, help us.
man, I can't tell if he has a headache.
Help us figure this out. So if you have any
It's a
information,
stress.
please
stress
just
habit.
contact your local authorities.
I do that same.
No, I get that, but sometimes it's
Everybody
just
continue to just
the way
keep
he
your
stops.
prayers. I mean, I'm honestly just devastated, and I could never imagine anything like this just happening. And I'm gonna do everything I can to keep you guys updated and just keep you guys informed on what's going on. Love you all.
Oh, some facts. Fortnite took Travis Scott off his game. They had a Travis Scott skin. Whatchamacallit? He's been taking off a lot of concerts. He's been taking off of a lot of tours for some reason. His former managers come out and blast him about unrelated stuff. He just felt like, now is the time.
So
Drake is being sued.
I saw that.
Yeah, they're just basically done with Travis Scott. He's slick being canceled. He's offered a refund to he's given a refund to everybody in attendance, or offered a refund to everybody in attendance, and obviously he said that he would work to make sure the proceeds or any net profit that he made, or I don't even think he used the word net profit, any money made or was used to go towards the families and helping the families of the lost ones and the injured ones. I could see how they could be held liable for capacity if it wasn't reached, but I mean if it was over capacity, but I would say that would end up being whoever's in charge of like the structure, the facility. Like whoever's in charge of the facility would have to make sure it didn't go over
Security,
capacity,
and then they had
stuff
like
like
the
that.
hydro stations, like I was talking about, like so I went
Water
to years
stations,
ago.
they
water
have to do all
stations.
this, especially in times of COVID. So it's for them to even
No
be
one
that
was really
packed in
masked
COVID.
either.
Yeah, like, and we're still waiting to find out what these people died of.
So hold on real quick. Let me say this, I guess, controversial statement. Yeah, I don't know if I really blame Travis Scott either. My blame, and this is where it gets controversial, is on the actual like attendees, people, like the people that actually went. Like, you know what you're getting yourself into. I guess since we argued intent with the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing, to argue intent then is, did you take, we're not actually intent, but did you take the necessary precautions to keep yourself, either one, hydrated depending on what you took, or two, did you take a proper, I don't drink enough? Did you smoke too much? Did you too many pills? Like were you irresponsible? Like, that's where my, I guess, thing is on the actual attendees, because
Okay, I
it was
get
the
you.
Stampede thing. Like, y'all really couldn't just stay in a single file line
Unless
and
there
get
was
through
somebody
that. Like,
stabbing them.
well, no, the
I
first one you
understand.
said, I get that one.
Oh, yeah, that one, yeah.
The one we saw, because that's not the one where the person was getting hit
You're
with
right.
needles and stamped.
You're
The
right.
first one was just people being impatient and wanting to hurry up and get in. Fortunately, there were probably some people bruised, maybe, or God forbid, broken or sprained. Nothing too serious, hopefully. I mean, that is pretty serious, I guess you could say. But anyway, people just being impatient, getting in, just being blah, blah, blah. Or people trying to get in free and they just started that and blah, blah, blah. Or they had something illegal. They didn't want to go through security, so that was their way of getting through security without having to be patted down. Either way, irresponsibility. And then you could argue the intent here is if someone really was going on with a needle, like, really? A needle? Bro.
And then also, I mean, who expects
The attendees, like,
who expects death? Like, I'm pretty sure everybody, the assumption was these people were passed out. I'm pretty sure, like, only the people in the immediate vicinity of the person who actually, like, either checked the pulse.
Yeah,
or
I
the
see.
person.
Because like people passing out is pretty common.
Yeah.
And then even for the artist, like he's seen it, and so I'm sure he was just like, oh, that person just passed out. Let's get them out. I'm gonna keep continuing with the show. I think when you start talking about the whole intention thing, though, I think that's where blame starts to fall on Travis.
I agree there.
Because he cultivates this energy, this vibe of, like, we're gonna rage, we're gonna act like anarchists and stuff like that. And he's got multiple lawsuits against him from different states for having incited riots at his shows and stuff like that.
That's actually
100%.
true.
I agree
Yeah.
with that.
Having to make people like overflow the areas and stuff like that. But like, fuck the barricades, they can't stop you all if you all just run in here, and like people will get crushed or people fall beneath it. The whole reason people are sectioned out at shows and stuff like that, especially in small areas, is so that doesn't happen, and so that there's clear lines of path for emergency vehicles to get in and out, as well as personnel. So him to overlook that and purposely incite people to overlook that themselves, that does fall on him. And
But those
even
are
the whole
It's precedent of him, but he still shows a precedent habit.
yeah, he
I guess
still
you could
does
say.
it, and they even show
Personality,
videos
character.
on his streams too, like when he was doing the Astroworld stuff, where people approached him to tell him like, "Yo, we think things are going kind of bad," and he's like,
Yeah, we got a clip of
let's
that.
keep
Just pull it
going."
up. You don't have to play it, but
Let me
pull it
see.
up. Yeah, it's just the girl when she got on stage. I think behind one of the
Not
camera
this one.
guys.
Not
No, it's
this-
this one. Yeah, and she's telling him stop the show.
No.
She's
There's
not-
one where
something-
two
he's talking
dudes
about talking to
approach
Travis.
Travis.
Oh,
Yeah.
talking to Travis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like somebody
there's
pulled up on Travis.
Yeah, and they're coming up to him. He's like, "Nah, don't talk to me."
Or
like,
just somebody
don't-
give credence to that potentially happened. I haven't seen that
Oh,
footage, but
okay.
I believe it because of like this was going on.
Do you
He
think
turns
this girl
back to the
even reached
crowd.
Travis?
And then he asks, I don't know actually for sure if it's that same video, but I know there's also another account where he stops the show and asks the crowds, "Are y'all all right? If you are, stick your middle finger up in the air." And obviously, like, only 8 people out of 50,000 have gone down.
You're
So-
gonna notice the 8 missing.
Yeah,
My
so he's not
boy,
going to
wow,
notice the
that's
8 that
dumb
are
as fuck.
down. Like, everyone stuck their fingers up, and he just kept going with the show. And that's why the account says that they had already claimed the show was a mass casualty, and it didn't end until 30 minutes afterwards because there was just like miscommunication all across the board. So
And as
I
far-
do think Travis does have some blame to it.
100%.
As far as like how heavy, I really don't know like how to deal with the situation. Like,
As far as them being packed in the first place, I get what you're saying with the culture, but then it's like the dude was humming. Like it was really calm. Like it wasn't even a, you know what I'm saying? So there are certain
Wasn't a worry
Yeah, like there wasn't
or true care.
No. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking
Oh.
about like he's probably seen 1 million people pass out at his shows, bro.
Okay.
So there was no way
So like
like
Doc said, apathetic.
yeah.
I
So
actually think he was like in that moment.
he was like, oh shit.
No, he was sympathetic because he stops the show and gets them to go get him. And then I think he realizes, like, as he's watching him, he's like, "Oh shit, I don't want to scare people. Like, let me hold some attention." And so he starts like doing his little singing.
And to your point, so everybody's getting mad that they were told, the staff was told to refer to the casualties as Smurfs and not dead or deceased. Now,
I hadn't heard about that. It's fucked up.
see, but is it though, Doc?
Well, why were they calling him Smurfs? I don't understand.
Yeah, what do you mean by Smurfs? Yeah.
I don't understand the.
Is that a particular term used for some situation?
Oh,
Like,
I
what's the
do
term?
get that. That is fucked up. If it's Smurf because they're blue, dead.
Oh, that's fucked
That's
up.
fucked
yeah.
up.
Okay.
I
If
thought it was
that's
some
the
kinda, like,
reason,
industry term
if
or
that's
something like
real,
that.
but there's been a whole bunch of shit coming out. But if there was another term that's not
Is
Smurfs
that
that
just
they were
dark humor though
using,
amongst the?
no, because they're
I-
dead. But I'm talking about the term for Smurfs was probably for people who passed out. Honestly speaking, it probably wasn't supposed to be for people who died.
Okay.
And obviously with all this stuff going on, the more shock you can add to this, the more fuel you can throw on it, you're gonna do it. But my point is, for them to come up with another term for the deceased was to not incite people panicking and running. You know, 4 dead over here. What do you think the reaction is gonna be? Like you don't.
That's what I was thinking was the reason why they were saying a code name or something like that.
Yeah, but if it's Smurfs, oof. But I hope it wasn't referring to dead. Why would you have a code word for the dead already? That sounds like wild. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that's more 8 people dying is you're reacting to that. You're not preparing for that. So I still blame Travis a little bit because, like you said, the culture and all that stuff like that. But I mean, we're just gonna have to wait and see all the stuff that comes out. But when things involve this many people, the story actually never comes out properly. Like it normally just comes out in bits and pieces. People start forgetting things as day goes on. They start adding
Different
details.
perspectives, like the
and it's
satanic
just-
one.
it's
I think
Yeah,
that's why they're trying to use semantics against him in this situation, though. And it actually does make more sense, though, in this situation. Because if you look at some of the advertising for it, they show people breaking barriers. And they're like, look at how lit this shit gets. Like, you want to come be here. Look at this shit. And so that crowd comes out of the woodwork to do that. And they did it. And so it's kind of just like, damn, like, you got what you wanted, man. But it kind of maybe went too far. Definitely went too far.
So do you think he's canceled? Because I'll tell you
I
what,
don't
think
think
he's
he's canceled.
Travis is probably the biggest marketed human being on earth right now. Like besides BTS and all these guys, talking about McDonald's, Fortnite,
Does he have a
Jordan's
shoe?
sellout. Like he had the #1 skin, music, tours crazy, merch crazy. So it's like he's probably the most.
Actually,
Other than-
man, now that you think about it, like I've heard that question come up a lot. Like, and I think because of the vibe that Dave Chappelle put out, where he was just like, think of the baby, and it made people think like, you're right. Like we didn't cancel that guy for killing people, but we did cancel these people for saying, homosexual slurs.
Mhm.
And so I think a lot of people have thought about that. I myself have thought about that. And even now that you bring it up, like
He's not gonna
Travis
get
has
canceled.
incited this similar behavior before. And so I would understand if people are like, nah, I'm done with it.
So he's
Like,
incited this behavior before, even though he may, I don't know if he did or not, but even though, let's assume he didn't, even though he may have not incited that type of behavior in this incident, does that not still crucify him? Maybe that's the wrong word to use, but at least some blame with nurturing that kind of culture or fan base or
well, that's
whatever?
what I'm saying. That's what I think people would
Yeah, I
outright
get-
just
yeah.
reject from now on. Just be like, oh shit, finally we connect all the dots. And we're just not about it anymore. Like
So then
it's too outrageous.
that would bring a different conversation to as far as like content then, because if your content as an artist is a character, could you then now be held responsible for anything that happens based
From
off
the character
of
you
what you're-
built?
from the character and culture you
I think
built?
you can. I mean, if people can create Trump into a character and then try to hold him accountable for like the whole revolution and stuff like that. or
Damn,
the
that's an interesting point.
insurrection. then
And
like
so
they can
that's a
fully
slippery
hold him
slope.
accountable for his character.
That is a slippery slope. Wow.
And so that's
And
what I'm scared of.
So the other thing too that I was thinking about is that I was
point.
comparing this to the Who. So in 1979, the Who held a concert and a bunch of fucking people died. But the Who, I don't ever hear accounts of like the Who asking like people to break the barrier and stuff like that to come into it. It's just like the Who was just too big, and people were like, I need to get to the front to see the Who like that. And if you listen to like their music, it's not really about like raging either. Too, I think they were just too big for their own good.
Hmm.
I might be wrong. Like I don't have like
Yeah, I don't
video
know either,
footage like I
honestly.
do from this, and so I think that's the difference. And going back to the whole whatever that Rittenhouse guy's name is, if we're arguing intention and
Grosskreutz.
like I think that's the key issue with it. For I think no, I feel that freaking Travis Scott's intention was to rage, and he got what he wanted. And I think people are upset about it because it was just too much.
That's probably why they're
2 people
blaming him.
died at a Michael Jackson show, and he kept performing. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Good.
Moonwalked right off that
If you made
stage.
it to the end, really appreciate it. Thanks for watching Fake Deep Thinking. If you like the show, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and to share. We really appreciate everything and appreciate you. So take it easy. Peace.
Peace.
Have a good day.